This is Lansdowne Roar, the voice of the fans. And tonight we're talking about Ireland's Nations League playoff. And they've drawn Bulgaria. Plus, Evan Ferguson, is he on his way out of Brighton? We're going to talk a lot about that coming up. It's Lansdowne Roar. Where's my fucking thing? Oh, God. I've lost the plot, lads. There we go. David Dunn here, joined by Martin Prendergast and Connor McAvoy. It's Lansdowne Roar. Sorry, I got all bedazzled there. Yes, we are going to be talking about Ireland's draw in the Nations League. Of course, we've drawn Bulgaria home and away. The games will take place in March. Just before we get started, folks, you're more than welcome. And you're more than welcome to have your say, get involved. It is Irish football's most interactive podcast. And we are live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And if you haven't already, please like the video. Please, if you wouldn't mind, hitting the subscribe button there, the QR code. And help us grow the YouTube channel, because that's what we're trying to do, folks. We are Irish football's most interactive podcast. And we are the voices of fans. We want to hear from you. Whew. Right, chaps. Sorry, a bit of a disastrous... This is what happens when you're a bit unprepared.
Yes,
So, I know. We're going to be on here anyway. It's a cheeky little episode. We're going to be on here for next, probably half hour, 45 minutes, and to see what's happening out there with the Roar Faithful. So let's get to it very quickly. There we are. The draw was made today in, I don't know, somewhere in UEFA. Thursday. Right, where was it made? Come on, Martin.
I'll guess Neon.
Neon, there you go. Neon.
I don't know if that's true, but I thought that could
Neon.
be a wild guess.
It's all like
correct.
north of Leon.
It's
Leon. Anyway, Neon. The bright version of Leon. There you go. And so you see there on Thursday, the 20th of March, we play Bulgaria away in the first leg. In the second leg, we played them in Dublin on Sunday, the 23rd of March. The game will be taking place, not Sofia, as somebody mistakenly put up earlier on, but in the Hristo Botev Stadium, and that is in Plovdiv. There you go, Martin. You're not the only div on the podcast. Sorry, it's a cheap joke, isn't it? The stadium, I'm going to get a picture of it for you here now, holds just 18,777. Apparently had a record attendance of 40,000. And it's been renovated a fair few times. 93, 95, 08, 12, and over the last 10 years. There you go. So that's the miracle that is Wikipedia. Martin, what does that mean, first of all, for traveling supporters? How many tickets are we looking at? It was 18,000.
18,000, 5%. You have to have, I think it's about 900, if my calculations are correct, which means it makes it quite tight, really. So we expect to know in the next few weeks. I would say probably the new year they'll probably do this. The FAI, they'll open up the away portal, and then that's it. Get your applications in, and the criteria for the games will be kind of logged against your away portal record of attendance of games.
Just 1 point.
It'd be interesting. No, that's not all in place yet. That's not all in place. That's from going forward, Dave. No, one thing that will be important though, because the England game, I'm guessing at this. I don't know this for a fact, but because the England game was, everyone got tickets who wanted to. They probably won't count that as a game that qualifies you for an away travel record. It will go back to other games, the ones that were kind of attended more loyally. I would phrase it that way. Make sense?
More loyally? Okay. No, not really. I'm lost. I don't know.
you have lost the plot, yeah. No, I understand Martin perfectly. He speaks proper English, unlike you.
Well, to be fair, both of you lads are born in the UK, so you should be able to speak English pretty well.
You're the only one with a British passport.
I don't know where you're getting this from, this whole British passport thing. But yes.
Sorry, I'm just reading the comment ahead there. I've got it wrong. Yeah, it's because it's undersubscribed. They will count if you got England, because you would have got it. Yeah.
I understand Martin perfectly. Do you? Do you, Connor?
No, it's the other games where it's over. Yeah, they don't count because they can't.
So there you go. It's all a bit of a mess, as you can imagine. A bit like us. So it's a hell of a journey. We're going to talk about the journey later on and how we're probably going to look at doing it, Martin, if you are doing it. Now, Connor, you and I were sitting in the posh seats in the media section, hey, pot noodle each and all that. So, Martin, you got the comments there. What did Heimer have to make of it today?
Yeah, Heimer's first reaction is like, he's expecting a low-scoring game. And then they will, says it's a kind of, he wanted to avoid Slovakia, so he was quite happy with that. The advantage of obviously playing the second game at home, I think, is quite good. And says it's just a tricky place to go. The thing is, if you look at their results, a lot of low-scoring games, clean sheets is their strength. That is going to be a tricky thing to break them down for sure. And then he just spoke about what he's learned a little bit from the England game. And then a key, more that, having the lads in camp and things like that. But one of the things he did say was, someone said, is it going to be better that you get relegated because you'll be in Group C and things like that? He thinks they're going to get more benefit from playing the top teams, which kind of links to what we said in the pod in the past, I suppose. Vera Powell, when she was with the women's team, wanted to take on the world's best. That's what they want to do with Ireland as well. So that's an opportunity. Stay in this group and, take on the best, I suppose.
We'll get more to that later on, actually. That's an interesting one there. I've got a lot to say about that. Connor, you are our facts man. Tell us how... Hello, Connor. Hello. Oh, by the way, I didn't plug him at the beginning. Do head over to Ref Tracker over on Twitter if you want, I suppose. if you feel up to it. Question. So how scared should we be of Bulgaria, Connor?
I don't think we're prepared, lads. We're not ready for the mighty Bulgarians. Okay. Bulgarian brutes are coming at us. No, we shouldn't be scared at all, to be honest. Heimer said it's not the worst, but it's not the best draw. But even it was obvious Slovakia were the hardest. And then you could pick your bunch of the other three. I'd probably have Armenia as the second hardest, and then Kosovo and Bulgaria is the bottom two. Like, this is the same side that lost 5-0 against Northern Ireland. Ireland, like.
Just on that, they did finish second in the group. Northern Ireland topped it, Belarus just below them, and Luxembourg last. The last six, according to Google anyway. 1-1 draw against Belarus. Beat Luxembourg 1-0 away. Lost to Northern Ireland up in Windsor Park 5-0. Drew 0-0 with Luxembourg. Beat Northern Ireland. Beat Northern Ireland, to be fair.
That's
whatever.
Is that an achievement?
I don't know. I don't think we should really be taking shots at anyone. We just lost 5-0, and then of course
where's your confidence in your country?
As I said, we just lost 5-0 in the last match. It's not particularly high, Connor. And then of course their opening Nations League match was a 0-0 draw in Belarus. I presume that was in Minsk. Although I thought today's draw, they'd be in Sofia. So you're quite confident, Connor. You're quite happy with that, are you? Here's what they could have had, by the way. These were the potential playoff opponents. Slovakia 41st. I do think we have done well avoiding them. Bulgaria 84th in the world, or they were anyway. That's probably an old ranking. Armenia 99th and Kosovo 101st in the world. We are 60th in the world.
We're flying now.
Oh yeah, we're cooking with diesel. Was it sucking diesel? Is that what you say in your part of the world? Yeah, red diesel, is it? No. Martin, how confident are you with Bulgaria?
Yeah, happy with that draw overall. Not the worst place in the world to try. I've been to Bulgaria before, but different reasons, stag do. But it was good. It was good fun. But cheap, nice and cheap for the away fans as well, if I can recall. But it's not going to be logistically very easy to get to the stadium. I think a bit of travel required from Sofia. Trying to work out flights is a bit complex. But I know a good few fans have booked it already. I think it's set as a 7:45 kickoff already, which is Irish time. And yeah, I suppose it'll be okay, won't it? It'll be a good trip, but again, we'll be a big scramble for tickets. I think people will travel, even on the back of the 5-0 loss to England. I think come New Year, new season ticket coming out as all that kind of thing. I think there'll be, I think it'll be a trip that will appeal to the masses. But you are looking at a 2-hour bus trip or 2.5-hour train trips, basically, and that's not going to be easy to do because you have got to get back to Dublin for the Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, good luck. I was looking at it there, lads, from London. Now, obviously, that's the beauty, Martin, living in London. You've more direct flights. than you have for Dublin. But I was looking there, and apparently Ryanair do fly direct to. I keep forgetting the name of this place. Plovdiv. Yeah, they do. But it's literally they only fly on certain days, and it's a 6 o'clock in the morning flight. It's a red eye.
Because I've seen that for London as well. I think London's the same for Plovdiv, whatever. When I looked earlier, but
yeah, no, that's what I was looking at. There's Stansted and Ryanair only had like 2 seats left, so it's probably gone. So your best bet, folks, if you're watching the Raw Faithful, is probably get the Sofia and get a train.
Do you know? But do they, when there's away days like this, do airlines not sometimes use it as an opportunity to put on maybe one more flight, say from Dublin the day before, and get a bit of cash, but at a higher price?
You can charter a flight into there, and that's what I think a lot of trade kind of do into the local airport there, Plovdiv or whatever it is. But gone are the days a little bit of this is a low capacity attendance that the Irish fans will get, and official travel clubs or travel deals with the FAI. That was something that was prevalent in the past, where the FAI would kind of cream off a few tickets into kind of official travel deal. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that now at 900, but it was something that would have been attractive in a way that they could have done that deal. And that will be something certainly in future, I think in years to come, is something with these games. If Ireland football is on the rise again, I think it will be something they'll look at putting maybe in place, a travel club again to make those chartered flights work.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a 2-hour drive, or it's a 1 hour 42-minute drive. You get to Sofia, I don't know, hire a car.
Imagine buses as well.
Buses, yeah. Just sorry, I'm on
the wrong. There will be buses put on, I'm sure, or trains, and the Irish supporters are, they're used to travelling to these far-flung places now and organising bus travel, and everyone gets sorted. Especially like 900 people, it's not too difficult to mobilise kind of buses and coaches to sort out everybody. We did it in the Cladder Ring last week, didn't we, for 250? So, it's not difficult, but you would hope as well the FAI will liaise, and that's what we've got Gary Spain, supporters liaison officer, to kind of help on the plans for that. And a bit of forward thinking now. 4 months to the game. We could plan this quite well, really. But again, it's going to come down to knowing what allocation they're going to have, and doing the FAI away portal application early and guaranteeing those tickets to the most deserving fans before you can even think of that.
Yeah, do you know, it's ironic, right? When I was listening to the draw on my way to work this morning, and I thought, like, when we got Bulgaria, I thought, okay, it's not Kosovo. I really want to see Kosovo. You know me, I'm a massive history buff. But I thought, Bulgaria, that'd be Sofia, surely. Clearly not having not done my homework. And I thought, a direct flight, perfect. And now it's going to be an absolute.
By the way,
ball,
Bulgaria are a lot worse than Kosovo. Kosovo are actually all right. They have a few decent players spread across Europe, so.
Yeah,
Kosovo probably would be, when I look at it again, would probably be the second toughest, but actually probably are better than Armenia. So I actually think we've got the worst of the 4. So I think we're getting a decent away there, a cheapish away there. I don't know I haven't looked at flights yet, but in terms of whilst we're out there, and somewhere that we probably aren't going to get again. So I'm happy with this draw. I know what yous are.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of crack. I've never been to Bulgaria before. I was supposed to be there back in... Do you remember we had them in the Nations League, didn't we? The second incarnation of the Nations League.
That was that the Stephen Kenny year where we scored 1 goal all year? Yeah. Shane Duffy scored a header.
Yeah. Well, that was in the Nations League, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the first. I think it was the very first Nations League campaign, was it?
No, it was his first game. It was a 1-1 draw in Bulgaria. And then I think after that we played we had the game against Slovakia. Do you remember then for the Euros? That was the playoff.
Yeah.
And then we went back to the Nations League because obviously we went there to the playoff. And Shane Duffy with a last minute header.
Under Stephen Kenny, we scored 1 goal.
And it was a full calendar year. We scored 1. I remember there's all the jokes. Yeah. It was like goal of the year, header of the year, worst goal of the year.
I remember, yeah. And that was when Didsey was playing, was it?
I think was that not when he had just retired? He retired.
No, he retired after the Slava game.
Was that like one of the first couple of games of Stephen Kenny's time in Ireland?
Yeah,
he only was there for a few games.
You're trying to blame him, Martin, for that, are you?
No. But
Are we sure that Stephen Kenny didn't manage Dizzy for just one game?
I think he managed him for.
I think he only had him for that game against Slovakia. I think that's the only game he managed him for.
It was one where Aaron Conley, wasn't it? Him and Adamita, was it? He had a false positive or something because he didn't sit in the right seats. Yeah. And then, so there you go, Martin. Stop trying to cause trouble, Martin.
Stick that in your pipe and smoke it.
Prolific. We forgot that prolific striker.
How could gorgeous he let him
slip away? How could he let him slip away?
Well, maybe we had someone to link up the play. We'd be a lot better.
Fuck's sake.
He was a gorgeous player. He was. You just don't appreciate him, man. He was a gazelle around that pitch.
A certain someone.
Myth.
Yeah.
I told you this. I'm right, and you're all now starting to jump on the bandwagon now. The O'Dowd one. I told you about that as well. So that's
there's no getting on that bandwagon, Martin. I was like the fucking train from Plod to Plodvid. No one's getting on that. Sorry, that's a bit mean. Sorry, Callum, if you're watching. Probably is actually, isn't he?
He actually had a great window. To be fair, he was one of our more consistent players.
He was okay. I don't know, lads. I'm a bit, just about the game again. I don't think we should be anyway confident going into any sort of match. I think.
Oh, Jesus Christ! This man
speaks the truth. By the way,
we're playing Bulgaria. Come on, you have to be confident that. So, would you not? How are you not confident within Bulgaria?
I'm not confident. I'm not confident with anything we have. Like if you go back to the game against England, I do refute the claims that this is the worst on paper Ireland team we've ever had. But I think mentally it is absolutely the weakest. And I think the manager now will obviously need to do something about that. It probably will take the summer camp. It might be a bit too, look, do I expect us to get the job done against Bulgaria? Yes. Do I expect it to be a hammering? No. I expect the result in Plovdiv or left seat desk, whatever the fuck it's called. Right. I expect us to get a result over there, and I expect us to maybe beat them like 1 or 2-0 in Dublin. But I'm not going in like it's not a given for me. We should get it done, probably will, but it's not a given for me. Why should it be a given?
Because they're crap.
So we haven't been great, have we? Like, let's be honest, we have been fantastic.
Like they're a lot worse than like the likes of Finland and stuff. So no, I don't. I'm not even. It's just I just know they're not a great side at all, and I expect us to beat them easily. And I'm confident in our country. Once we have Didzy back in the team and Andy Moran's playing.
No. Hold on a second now. Don't just move the goalpost there, Conor. Now, if you're talking about Didzy back in the team, that's 5-0 both legs. Like that's a 10-0, aggregate score.
I'm just looking back. He wasn't in the squad for 8 in 2018, yeah, and then 2019 Gibraltar away, where we won 1-0 with Jeff got the goal,
Hendrick.
Yeah. So he played in all 5 games then, and that was with Mick, wasn't it? And then
that's with this, Martin, aren't you?
And then it was international friendly. I think Bulgaria. Would we win 3-1, or is it Hungary? I'm not sure who this is against.
No, we beat Bulgaria 3-1, and I think we beat New Zealand 3-1 as well. No, but he just got the equaliser against Switzerland the match before, didn't he?
I'm not sure.
We saved him. No, he got the equaliser against Switzerland.
He had a groin injury in 2019, so then he was back for a Group D game, European Championships, at home to Denmark. We drew 1-1, and then
what are we trying to figure out? How many games Stephen Kenny managed them?
Yeah, not many.
I think it was only the
20 when we lost to Iceland, was it? Did we lose to Iceland? I'm trying to work out the flags here. Anyway, the game we lost on penalties, he was on that was a playoff, wasn't it? Oh, that was
it. He was absolutely brilliant that day, by the way. He was top class.
That was his last game then. So that was it.
Yeah,
that's
he
the
got
one.
ruined by
final playoff.
He retired after that game, Ryan. He retired after that game.
Took his 1 goal off into the sunset.
But what a goal, Martin. What a goal. Like, that's what we have to talk about.
I'm getting that printed on a fucking t-shirt.
Well,
that's where he does the celebration, isn't it? As well. Oh my God.
Well, what a goal.
It was a brilliant goal, by the way. It was a brilliant header.
It's a fabulous goal. It was a great goal against Switzerland.
Oh,
you said it wasn't.
It was top class.
No, but you're just getting over. You're just ganging up on me because you know my point is correct and you're making out.
Just accept.
No, well, what is your point? We were trying to say that goal he scored that day was brilliant.
Which it was Bulgaria here, and he's talking about fucking Ditsy.
Yeah, you're the one interrupting.
I'm just saying.
When he's trying to talk about Ireland versus Bulgaria. He's trying to have a rant about how shit we are, and I'm trying to say we're a lot better than them, and you're just going on about did say you're in your
we
own
are better
wee
than
world.
them.
Well,
are
we
better than
fucking,
No, but the thing is, our
opponent.
squad will be a lot. You'd like to hope come March we'll have Jack Taylor fit. Andy Moore will be flying still at Stoke. Boston now will be back in at Stoke. Alameda will be fit again. Hopefully, like Sinclair Armstrong will have stepped up a bit. Like Oma Bamadeli will have a loan move in January, I'd imagine, and then that's another proper centre half to come in. Like as good as Mark McGuinness was, I thought the other day against England, I think Oma Bamadeli is just that bit better. Like I think Oma Bamadeli has way higher ceiling. So I do think we should be a lot better come March in terms of the quality of our squad. Like how many injuries did we have? I remember putting up a squad of 11 players.
Yeah.
Of
But what's not to say that we won't have more injuries come March? You know, the season
I know,
gets
but
deeper into it.
Are you glass half full or glass half empty?
I'm a glass is there with milk in it type of person.
I'm having flashbacks to the clattering. Was my glass?
Your glass is never empty at the clattering, Martin. Look, listen, I'm a realist, and I am a realist with this, and I've seen all this before. And yeah, we've a good squad on paper, but mentally very weak. And I would feel more confident. Like obviously, we got these games in March. We'll see what happens, and then we got a camp in June, and then we got 2 friendlies in June, and then of course we go to the qualifiers in September. I'd be a lot more optimistic about going to the qualifiers in September. Not all of our players are firing at the moment. We're going to talk about one in a second, actually. That's a good comment coming in. Some great comments coming there, guys, by the way. We will get to them in a few minutes. But I don't know. I think we're just kind of hoping a little bit. There's nothing really in our hands, and that's what really worries me. Like, until that guy gets them for camp, Heimer. There was some talk, obviously, about, we mentioned on the last live, didn't we, that people were saying that, well, Heimer needs to go now, or maybe just no. I think we all accepted, don't we, folks, that Heimer was hamstrung a bit by the timing of the appointment, really, wasn't he? Like he hasn't had a camp. First game against England, I think we'll feel a lot better once he gets them for a bit, gets his ideas across for a longer period of time. What do you reckon, lads? Yeah, bit of positivity for you there.
Yeah, I'm happy with Heimer so far. I have nothing to really complain about.
Yeah, honestly, I don't blame him for any of this, really. You could question 1 or 2 substitutions, 1 or 2 iffy squad decisions. But that's football, isn't it? But overall, no, I'd be happy enough with him. I think there is reason for optimism. Not just yet. We'll get back to the comments in a second, lads. But story, Martin, that you broke, I don't have a bloody picture of it. But
Evan sent to me, to be fair, by one of the Raw faithful.
By one of our faithful, Evan Ferguson. Just reading here. This is according to Football Insider 247.com, and it leads exclusive. Evan Ferguson wants to quit Brighton in January. It's believed the 20-year-old striker is unhappy at his lack of game time thus far in the campaign under new boss Fabian Hutzler. Ferguson wants to leave Brighton in January or to play regular first 11 football once again. He wants to stay in the Premier League and has his sights set on joining another top flight club in the year. That's not going to happen. He's just played 254 minutes. Let me get to it. Calm down. Jesus, Martin, calm him down, will you?
I don't like people disrespecting our players.
I'm not disrespecting him.
I don't
just
like
not...
that. I don't.
I don't like.
Oh,
that.
fuck off! I'm not disrespecting him. Let me finish.
Oh.
Jesus Christ. He's just played. No, Stanfeld. Holy shit. He's just played 254 minutes of club football across 8 appearances in League and Cup this term, scoring 1 goal. The striker missed the first 3 games of the season with an ankle injury, but is now back at full fitness. Does it give any more? Just trying to see if there's. It's just whispers, I suppose. Maybe it's an agent putting it out or whatever. It just goes into what he did or whatever. Doesn't really give much more meat than that. Now, the reason why I say he's not going to end up at another top club is because they're not going to loan him to another top club in the Premier League. Now, are they? If you were Brighton, would you loan him out?
But if he was forcing a low move, maybe.
Yeah, well, you're not going to loan him out to, if you're Brighton, you're not going to loan him out to another top mid-table side in the Premier League, are you? When you're fighting it out for that extra whatever the position money or Europe now, are you?
They're going for top 4.
Yeah, exactly.
So a Brentford or someone.
So you're not going to let him go to a rival unless you sell him.
No, I mean like a Brentford, like a Brentford,
Yeah.
Palace, someone like that.
Oh, no, he's too good. Like, I don't want him going to a Brentford anymore. I want him going to a, to a top club. I mean, Brighton is perfect for him at the moment. A launchpad club. It seems to have all gone wrong from Connor at Brighton at the moment. What you put it down to?
I don't think it's all gone wrong, but I do think I am starting to get a bit pissed off with the situation. The fact that he's not.
Well, how's it? Oh, sorry. It's all going right with his. Shall I read through it again with his?
No,
254 minutes of football. Wow.
No, but it's just disappointing. It's more disappointing than that, and it's probably what more does he have to do at the moment, because he scored that unbelievable. Unbelievable. It was a brilliant finish against Wolves. And he probably, if you remember that last minute, he probably should have got a second. If I can't remember who it was, clean through with him and passed it to Wolves, and then Wolves went and scored at the other end. And then he started the next game against Liverpool in the Cup, played 90 minutes, played very well. And then since that, he came on. They played Liverpool that weekend, I think, and he played 2-3 minutes. And you're like, oh, it's Liverpool away. You can understand maybe why he wanted to stick, but what was out in the pitch. And then didn't get a minute against Man City the last game before international break. So you'd wonder, what's his viewpoint on it? Is it just because Danny Welbeck is playing so well at the moment that he seems to score every game, and when a player scores, it's like, oh, can I take him off, really? And he's the club cap. Is not Lewis Dunkers, I think, is he? But like, Welbeck has captained the side on a number of occasions. So I do think Evan Ferguson, once he starts scoring, once Welbeck stops being a freak in nature at the moment, Ferguson will get back, because I do think Ferguson is as good as any young striker based off talent. And I don't know what at the moment wasn't clicking, but what we've seen of him recently, he's done well, because he scored that goal against Wolves, played well against Liverpool, hadn't really featured the last 2 weeks, then was brilliant, I thought, against Finland. And what he done, he almost got unbelievable assists, scored a goal, should have got a penalty against England. I know he made that poor mistake for the goal, but it was, in terms of his overall impact in the game, I thought he actually done well for a striker that was basically playing on the halfway line.
Yeah,
who doesn't rely on pace. So I do think at the moment I'm a bit pissed off with how he's getting on at Brighton, but I do think it'll turn around.
Okay, Martin. Just on a more, I suppose, you see this all the time, don't you? Do you reckon that maybe this agent has let this slip out a little bit, and just sort of, maybe kind of light a fire under the arse of the manager and say, listen, he's not happy now. My client's not happy. He wants to get out of here a little bit. Hopefully try to jog the manager's kind of memory as, you do have this young potential superstar on the bench here. Maybe you need to give him a go, because he needs minutes.
He does certainly needs minutes, and I think he did do well. I kind of agree with Connor. I thought he had a kind of good window for Ireland, and I think it is just a reminder that this lad's going away with the international team, and he's playing really well for them. He's the kind of first name on the starting lineup for the strikers anyway. It could have been a totally different window for him, even better. Like if he had got that penalty given to him, which he should have, the injustice against Irish people still goes on in England. But I think he like, it is a reminder as well, if they don't rate him, let him go out on loan. He needs to be playing. We got to remember how young he is. He had that really tough time with the injury, and he's not come back to that level yet. But he is still learning, and I think they're just going to trust at the moment, Brighton, that Welbeck is going to see out games and do things a bit more understanding of the team and what they're trying to do, and is getting results from that, the Brighton manager. So he's just got to be patient, bide his time. He will get in there, score goals. The FA Cup starts in January. We're not far away from that. That's always a big thing for Irish footballers, I think, because it certainly was a few years ago. I used to always go on about it, probably too much. But, that's where the kind of squad gets used, and I'd expect him to start there. And if he doesn't, the window opens, and he's got to be looking to move on if he doesn't get opportunities.
Yeah, and as I said, I rate the lad, but maybe some of the stuff we saw, they probably think that they can't really afford him. You don't know what his attitude's like. He seems like a decent lad. Seems like a good young lad with a good head on the shoulders, but maybe, I don't know, maybe the last manager spoke a little bit about his attitude, didn't he? De Zerbi, he did mention that. Sorry
to jump in, but do you think that's a waffle about his attitude? Do you think that's just an excuse, just being like, oh yeah, he can do more? Because I remember James Milner doing an interview with Ben Foster and talking about how good he is in training, how good his finishing is, and he sees it every day. So I don't know whether that's just an excuse. A manager can always say, oh, yeah, he needs to do more in training just to
Could be
It's
trying to
always-
maybe just keep
you're
him in
gonna-
check.
You're
Who's
cajoling
gonna-
keep young lads in
yeah.
check, basically, and you're keeping
Who's
his
going to
feet on
question
the
a
floor.
manager saying that? Like, if a manager says in training, no, he needs to do more. Like, no one's going to start going out because he's like, do you see him every day? So, because when you hear teammates or like James Milner is a top pro, he's seen some of the best, and when he speaks, is how he has on Ferguson, not just in matches but in training. So, I'd wonder whether it's just a managerial excuse for playing others.
Rich coming from someone
Shearer
like
did the same
there
as well, didn't he? Shearer called him up as well, called him out as well, didn't he? Saying, what he sees in him and stuff. So, no, I think we've got a real big talent on our hands, and I just think we just want to see him play. But you've got to be very patient with these lads now. You do. A lot of them do get going 22, 23, basically a little bit later. Even like you think back to Troy, he didn't. There was a lot of hype around him and stuff. It's taken him a long time to get going now, but and he's doing well at that level where he is. But just the hype is there. Connolly's another one, and I think we just got to be very more patient, learn from them too, in a sense, especially Connolly. Let's not hype him up too much. Just let him find his way, and I think he'll do well and score goals.
Strikers in particular, I tend to bloomly at look at Ivan Toney.
Yeah, exactly. No, but look. I mean, the perfect one is Harry Kane. Man, Tottenham fans I know, you just go and see him and say, "No, he's not going to make it. He's not good enough." And that's Harry Kane. Like, you can't write off strikers. And if he's got the kind of basics in there, the technical ability, it will come through eventually. And it's just got to be patient.
I just worry though, because a lot of the young players, like, they seem to, like, we haven't seemed to. Maybe it's the case just with young players in general, and maybe we're just putting a spotlight on it because it's Ireland, and obviously we're an Irish podcast. Present company accepted, and basically you've got a lot of our young players coming through now. They don't seem to have the seamless transition from youth football to senior football, do they? Yeah, you just mentioned, name check Darren Connolly, Troy Parrott. Gavin Mazuna was struggling big time when he was in the Premier League at Southampton. Mark Travers as well. I know.
By the way, I don't think he's one to struggle. I think he's just been. I've never seen a keeper so. Not to go on about it, but he's been effed over by Bournemouth. Like, it's
a bit late now to save your language, Connor. You might as well say.
But he was the best keeper. He was the best keeper when they got promoted to the Premier League. When they came back up, he was the best keeper in the Championship. So I think he's just been.
Well, maybe so, but I don't know. I didn't watch him every time. I can only he has had a few bad performances, but he's bounced back and he's done really, really well. And he did seem to be effed over, to quote you, Connor, this season. I thought he hadn't put a foot wrong. He hadn't put a foot wrong, and then they just dropped him, and I don't know why. But you know what I'm saying, though. Now Evan Ferguson seems to be struggling there. Amabama Deli has struggled. I suppose Collins has done well. He's made a transition, but it just seems to be a lot of them just kind of fall a little bit to the wayside a bit. And Evan Ferguson, it's another name now having issues. Queven Gallagher has done okay so far, but you have a feeling that as good as he is and as well as he's done, second Allison comes back, he's going to be on the bench again, which I think is unfair. Because
he's due to start this weekend, by the way. Allison's been in training, but he said he's not fully fit. So, Gallagher will start this weekend and possibly against Real Madrid next week.
Wow, I mean, that'd be good from 2 clean sheets there. But yeah, what do you think that is? Like, they just seem to be struggling a little bit. Can't adapt to it. Is it? I don't know. Is it a money thing? Is it people around them? Is it lack of hunger, or is it poor guidance, or is it just bad luck?
I think it's just a bit of everything. There's also the thing of the Irish mentality is that once you get to England, sometimes you can look at you've made it. But it's hard. It's hard though with players because we have a lot of good young players coming through, but then you could have one or two that are meant look at as potential superstars, and then once you lose the one or two, then people start going, "Oh, we've not left to come through." But sometimes it's the wrong club. People go to bad agents taking them to countries like. For a young player to go to Italy, it's honestly a waste of time. It's possibly the worst country in Europe to go to. People always talk shit about going to England, even though most English academies are the best academies. It's just a thing of breaking through. Is how can you get to a good academy that has a good pathway, or a good academy that you can develop at and it can sell you on? If you look at Liverpool the last couple of years, the amount of top talent they've had come through that they've sold on to good clubs and made profit off. Like, that's not even, if that's how a player goes about their career, I don't have a problem with that. It's just the lads that go to these clubs and end up hanging about 21s teams too long, or they get a terrible loan, which we've seen with lads in the past. They've got a loan to a club that just doesn't suit their style of football at all, and isn't going to work for them. So I think there's a mixture. There's too many variables that goes into why a player doesn't succeed. But I think you just have to sometimes take pressure off lads and just say enjoy your football until you're ready.
Okay, fair. Well, lads, we're going to move it on to the comments. Thank you for that. Where's my little jingle? We'll play my little jingle. Hold on, here it is. Right, let's get into it, folks. I mean mine, the lads. Good man, I mean mine. I think a lot of you guys, honestly, thank you.
Top man.
Of me, not you peasants, per you. Shane Martin calling you out. England will be counted as was under subscribed. And also David Rowan. How come they wouldn't count England? Is there not more?
I did correct this. I backtracked quicker than you, Dave.
I never backtrack, so I'm never wrong.
Mm.
And Deck Finnegan, the legendary Deck Finnegan, comeback Deck, all's forgiven to the club presidency or what's it?
I backtracked on it, Dave. As I said, I backtracked quicker than you did out of passport when you
usually
when you go in the wrong queue. When you go in the wrong queue and you go, can you go through there, please? You're not in the EU anymore. You
have to get your
you head off, Martin.
Stamped when you go to Bulgaria, don't you?
Yeah. That's why I travel on it, lads. That's why I like collecting the stamps.
The only stamp I get, lads, is if I'm traveling VIP, and that's every time. Dyke Finnegan usually record over last 10 games, excluding any oversubscribed games. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for that, lads. Martin, he's only here for the tickets. You'd think he'd know better, wouldn't you? And he didn't even get that right. John Sullivan, hi Dave. I personally think we should bring Emmanuel Adebayoga.
Oh, you done that one well. You done that one well.
Excellent elocution. And I'll do it for a fact. And Neil Farrugia for the Bulgaria game. Neil Farrugia, Dave, says John Sullivan. Robert Jackson next. And their Bulgaria should be handy. Definitely used up all of it before the World Cup group is drawn. We'll probably get Greece, England somehow, even though we're not supposed to.
If we get Greece again.
I don't know, lads. Do you fancy doing a watch along for that one? I'm fucking not going to Athens again. Oh, Jesus. Tom Weaver, how you doing, Tom? Bulgaria, good draw. Should be a good away trip. Good to avoid Slovakia. Yeah, I mean, Slovakia was obviously the 41st in the world. Decent side on the way up. Yeah, I think we've done that. And you, Martin, you're saying you didn't want to go back to Slovakia and we draw Bulgaria. You don't want to go to Bulgaria either. Make your mind up.
I'm actually getting updates about Bulgaria. Like, flights are going up, by the way.
You're gonna.
On Bulgaria.
Prices, or they're putting flights on?
Prices.
Is this for your London friends, or is this for Irish people?
No, I've just inquired of someone because they told me they booked, and I said, "Oh, what way did you book?" And they're saying, "Look at these flights; they've gone up already." Some lads have booked them. Obviously, some lads know the way to do this, and they book them really early and get good prices, and they go over like different multiple routes and things, but they are jumping up.
Okay, well, I need to lads need to book my fucking tickets. King Greeley, didn't Bulgaria lose to Northern Ireland? Yes, 5-0. If we can't beat them, we should give up. Oh,
I agree.
Fair enough, Keen. Ian, Bulgaria, I'm taking this as a positive sign that the football gods have forgiven us for the John Delaney era. Robert Jackson. Well, yeah, we need that one. Probably have used up all our luck, as the last guy said. Robert Jackson, Kosovo have plenty of players starting weekly in Europe's big leagues. Delighted we avoided them, a national team on the up. David Rowan. Actually, Kosovo just ploughed hundreds of millions of pounds into their footballing infrastructure. Kosovo have. They were being bombed by fucking...
You know you're British when you're saying hundreds of millions of pounds.
Well, that's
about a European country.
Well, why would it be euros?
Because they're in Europe.
Yeah, but I don't have euro. All right, what's the currency of Kosovo?
I know. Well, they're an EU country, aren't they?
No.
I don't know.
No.
Checked.
Listen.
He knows about war-torn countries.
Yeah, don't
go there with him. Don't go there with him.
Oh, you'll lose that one.
What is the currency? What is the currency? Bullets. Bombs. Armalite.
NATO. NATO's the currency over there.
It doesn't say.
There'll be no booing.
It says not yet. They said they're on the list for the enlargement stage, so they're on their way.
They will get there eventually.
They're in talks, negotiations, so I was half right.
They put millions of pounds into their infrastructure, and there's us like struggling. Can't even, Jesus. But yeah, they did. And they were, as I said, they weren't even a country 20 years ago. Mental. Fair play to them, by the way. They were on loads of London flights to Sofia, 2-hour bus to Plovdiv. Doesn't look too bad.
By the way, it's euros they use in Kosovo, so stick that in your pipe and smoke it.
Well, you don't use.
Me.
Well,
don't doubt me.
Why are you giving out anyway? You use pounds where you live. Dec Finnegan all booked up. Alfie Kadili. Hi all. It would have been nice to have got Armenia or Kosovo. Bulgaria is a good draw for us. I'm glad we avoided Slovakia, and it's good to have a second leg at the Lansdowne. So I am happy. Anytime we've had a playoff where the second leg is in Lansdowne, we've qualified. There you go. Have a bit of that, Connor. Can you name the playoffs?
Bosnia and Herzegovina. No, you're talking bollocks. We lost to Denmark at home and we didn't qualify for the World Cup.
Yeah.
So what are you talking now?
All right, Mike. All right,
I'm glad you're paying attention.
Thing is, you thought you were right there. You thought you had some great stat.
He did.
It is a great stat. It's just not true. Fuck. James Agnew. Evening, lads. Hope all is well. Actually, no, I don't count it. Fuck it. Evening, lads. Hope all is well. Cracker weekend last weekend. Good man, James. Didn't see him for very long. Bulgaria is a decent draw for us. We avoided a harder tie in Slovakia anyway. If we have any designs for remaining a League B side, then we have to put teams like this away. Hopefully, get through this playoff and then go into the summer playoff, building a bit of momentum. I'm with you, James. We are like the Everton now, aren't we, of the Nations League Group B? We just won't go away. Sean Condon, I think the playoffs for Nations League are nonsense, but it's actually beneficial for us. Heimer is still trying new things. Will be good games to try Collins in defensive midfield. Again, Baylor. Brenny trying to get Checky. I'm always watching. He's always watching you.
He's always watching you, Didzy hater.
Yeah, fucking Didzy. Yeah. Shane Martin, have to say, lads, I'm fairly optimistic that we'll get through this game and also qualify for the World Cup. Really like the way Heimer has set us up, how he speaks, and the first half last week.
Great attitude.
Yeah. James' second comment is coming there. Keane Greeley, should Shane Duffy start for us if Collins goes into midfield?
Jeez, I hope not.
No? Fair. There you go, Keane. Hope that answered that. I don't know. No. You'd like to think we're moving on.
Yeah, you'd like to.
Yeah, you'd like to think we're moving on from that. Shane Martin, we watched the game last week. We were missing 8 players. McGuinness played very well. Moran was excellent when he came on. If Boston Lawal comes through more matches, I think we're going to do well. I'm optimistic for the World Cup qualifiers. If we don't do well, then you might as well give up. Keane Greeley, would you play Shane Duffy if Collins goes into midfield, set piece, threat, and experience? So he's asking the same question, but he's sort of padding it out a little bit. Is the answer still no?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, Keane. Not many in on board with that one. Mike John, I think they should forget about soccer and stop deluding themselves. They're just up to standard. So I don't know what's
probably not up to standard. Probably.
What's soccer? I don't know.
To play in America.
Yeah. Francis and Conky Bar, lads, just joined. Do we know where the Bulgaria away trip will be? Yes, we do. It will be in Plovdiv. I think I've said that right. And it will be in the Stadion Olimpico Plovdiv. No. Stadion Hristo Botev. I am probably butchering that.
Big shout out to Frank there. Frank O'Connor in America. Good friend of the pod and Wrist London member.
Good lad. Kieran Leog. I keep doing that. Keep thinking it's league. Can you predict an optimistic 11 versus Bulgaria with actual midfielders, Lowell and Moore? Can you see that happening? No.
Cousin will be back, won't he?
He ain't going to take any chances with this, is he? He's going to want to just get the job done and then.
No, but why can't? The thing is, they could be if they're on fire club level. Like you're probably going to play 3 in midfield, and I think Cullen's still because he's our only number 6 that we call up. So I think it would be between Jack Taylor and Boston Lawal and Malumbi and Knight and Smallbone for that other midfield slot, and then probably between Moore and Azaz for the number 10 role, unless you move Jack Taylor up a bit. But there is a chance. But there actually is a bit of depth there now in midfield. But the problem is probably they're all pretty much the same level at the moment. There's no one really standing out as he should be playing, unless it's like what Azaz is doing as a number 10. But certain games don't suit him.
I just don't think he's going to take any chances. unless like it's an injury crisis or they are absolute fire. But it's like what you said about Dowda. Eamon Manning was playing well. Well, he knows what we do. He knows what we do here. So I just think that's where his mentality is going to be. That's just a guess. The Irish Aviator, evening lads. I think Bulgaria is probably the best we could have got. They're in even worse form than us. Also chuffed to see Gallagher will most likely start against Madrid. Baylor, Prendy, stop waffling. That Switzerland goal is on the same level as Robbie's against Italy. Robbie Brady's against Italy, and he got a deflected goal against Gibraltar. That wasn't given to him. He was robbed. Justice for Ditzy. He was robbed, wasn't he, Connor?
Absolutely.
Two goals. Two goals for Ireland.
Ali Norrie single-handedly won us a playoff, but some midfielder that was crap for Ireland cost us that playoff, if you remember.
I don't, but I'll take your word for it, Connor.
Thank you. Someone missed an open. Do you remember who missed an open goal that playoff?
Oh yeah, Brown. Was it?
And someone else.
Did Doherty miss an open? No, he missed an
Conor
open goal.
Hourhan,
Oh Christ, yeah. And Doherty missed an opener. He got the equaliser in the end against Denmark, didn't he? But he missed an opener. In the last game against Denmark. Yeah, well, Lansdowne. We don't say the A word. Thomas Berriton, how you doing, Thomas? Why do we think Irish football's first-team quality has reduced since late 2000s onwards? We don't produce as much talent like Robbie Keane, Roy Keane, Damien Duff, Richard Dunn, Shay Given, etc. I think the game's moved on, and we just haven't. We haven't adopted, lads. We haven't adapted. We haven't adopted. We haven't put the money into the structures here, and I just think other countries are way ahead of us.
And by the way, it's sometimes it's harder for these young lads to blossom at the moment. It might take them 4 or 5 years. Like they could end up being top internationals, but a lot of them are still between the age bracket of 20 and 24, so there's still time. Like,
yeah, well, I just think we've overall, look, as I said, there's Kosovo. They've ploughed hundreds of millions of pounds into their football infrastructure. But when we lost Luxembourg, they were halfway through a 10-year plan to improve the overall standard of football in Luxembourg.
What happened to them against? But theirs hasn't gone.
Yeah, no, but it's still a plan. There was still, that's my point. It was still a plan. But they were very unlucky in the playoff against Georgia. In Georgia, they were actually very unlucky. They had a goal disallowed, and then ended up conceding a penalty and getting a red card. In basically tackle, went down and scored. That got disallowed, and the tackle was given as a penalty and a red card, and he got battered. So swings and roundabouts.
Just on that question, it's a really good point actually about where have all the players gone and stuff. There's a very good book. I remember buying it a few years ago. It's called Where Have All the Irish Gone by Kevin O'Neill. You can get it on Amazon, and it's the sad demise of Ireland's once relevant footballers.
Yeah.
Very, very worth a read. Yeah. That. And Brexit doesn't help it with the development of the young players now, because we're going to have to develop them in Ireland with kind of no funding at the moment. And also, just generally, if you look across even Scottish players, Welsh players breaking through in England, they're now competing with lads from France and Africa coming over and being developed in these countries, and South America. Like, you think Garnacho, for example, at Man United isn't homegrown, but he would have come through the kind of youth section. But United brought him into that section, whereas before it would have been all Irish, Welsh, and Scottish and English through their youth systems back in the day. So now you've got countries to bringing their players over earlier, and agents are doing a great job doing that. So that's one of the challenges now.
I think as well. Obviously, most of the managers now in England are all foreign managers. So where the British-based managers or Irish-based manager or whatever would want always to have an Irish player in the team, the leadership. Because even that team in 2002, there was a load of captains in that team. Matt Holland, Mark Kinsella, Roy Keane, obviously, until he walked out. There was loads of players there that were captains at the clubs. And we've always had loads of Irish captains at club level. And I think that's because a lot of the British-based managers, the old school managers at the time, like to have the Irish fight and the heart and the character and the aggression. Where now a lot of the managers want technical players.
And that's a problem in Ireland, by the way, idea of coaches wanting to between the ages of 10 and 16. It's not about playing your most talented technical players. It's about constantly adding just who's the fastest, strongest at age, and not who can develop into the most technically, as you say, just to win matches. But it's not who's going to be the best. As you've seen with Andy Moore. Andy Moore is very lucky to be in England. They had to keep telling Brighton they were in for another lad, and they're saying, no, you need to take Andy on trial as well. You need to take him on trial because he was so small and he was just technically brilliant. But they didn't really want to look at him because he wasn't up to the physical standards, and players like him can be lost out now because of people just constantly looking to go for the fastest and the strongest players.
Yeah, there's a multitude of reasons, but that's another one as well. Right, we'll move it on. The only problem for Evan, this is Daniel Mullen. How you doing, Daniel? Is he signed that new contract, which means his price will only be accessible to big clubs next summer. A lot of stories linking Ferguson with Chelsea, Meh, and Keller as well.
Brilliant move.
Yeah,
I think be good. People are slagging Chelsea over the amount of money. I know Nicholas Jackson's actually right. Rate Jackson, I think he's actually offers a lot to a team. But if Ferguson was a number 9 at Chelsea with the players they have and what they're building, I think he would be brilliant.
Yeah. Jimmy Shell, do you remember Connor Clifford, guys, was meant to be our best player going to the UK, but was never going to break into that Chelsea midfield as a young player. Didn't go out on loan until it was too late. Kieran Leog again. Cullen, Lowell, Moore in midfield trio with Smodic, Ferguson, Festi up top will get us to USA 26. Shane Martin, my only worry with some of the younger lads is sometimes they come across as a bit full of themselves in interviews. O'Shea, Collins, Gallagher, just my opinion. Hope I'm wrong. What are your thoughts?
No, I don't. I would disagree with that. Every time I've heard Pizzoni, for example, not that he's mentioned there, but Kelleher comes across really well. And yeah, I don't see that with them at all. I don't think there's a real egos in. There's probably 10% of the players in the Ireland squad, I'd question the kind of character and ego.
Yeah.
Some lads are just different personalities as well. Like, you can't judge off how they are in an interview, really.
No. Latch Echo. Dave is having a mare. I'm always having a mare, Latch. Louis Barry needs to be pushed hard. He would be a class addition at left wing, says
unbelievable player.
NL.
And
John, I'll take your word for it. And John Sullivan, hi Dave and everyone. Personally, I think this is the same message from earlier on, but we'll go out in it anyway. It's a good one. I personally would like to see Emmanuel Adebayo.
You ruined it now.
Adebayo and
back in from earlier. Cut it back in from earlier.
Yeah, I did actually. Yeah, I fucking smashed it earlier. And Neil Farrugia for the Bulgaria game in March. Neil Farrugia. Right, lads, we're going to leave it there. Thank you.
Dave, you always cut me off.
That's because I'm about to fucking end the show. Go on.
Where were we this time last week, Dave?
We were on stage giving us socks with
look, the background's there. The background.
It is, yeah. With Clinton, Ian, and Alan. Yeah, the Lansdowne legends.
And we had young Connor. We gave young Connor a history lesson. Now, why I've jumped in there as well, we've got a few of these posters signed by the 3 lads, and we've done giveaways before. We've never always followed through with them. We're going to be very honest, but we will follow through. On our next live, we'll give away 2 of these posters.
You are a shit salesman, Mark. Yeah. You are right.
I know.
At least you missed 25.
No, we'll do it on our next live. We'll give away 2 of the posters to anyone the first person who writes "In COD We Trust." They'll get one for definite, and then we'll just get the best comment.
Wait, hold on. Just
so you got to remember. You have to remember.
Just ignore all of that. We are going to give them away, but we're going to have a chat and do it. Fucking hell, Marn. No, we will give them away. They are signed. Of course, you saw the pictures, so you know they're real. And we are going to do a giveaway, and we also are going to have the audio of that Lansdowne Legends. It was brilliant. I will say so myself. No, it was excellent, and we'll absolutely do that. Right, lads, we're going to leave it there. We will be back next week with more Lansdowne Roar, and hopefully I'll have a bit of a better night. It is fucking freezing. I need to switch the heating on, actually, and well, there goes Christmas. Right. If you haven't already, guys, please subscribe to the page. Please head over to our Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter account. Head over to Rep Tracker, where Connor is doing God's work over there, Rep Tracker on Twitter. If you want an audio version of this episode, head over to lansdowneroar.ie or wherever you get your podcast from. And of course, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're trying to grow it. We're trying to get it up to about 2,000 subscribers. 2,000 subscribers, guys. Can you help us? We're just under 1,500. We want to get to 2,000. Come on. We know you can do it. You're the Roar faithful. You're the best fans in the world. Right. We're going to leave it there. Thank you very much. I'm David Dunn. He's Martin Prendergast. That's Connor McAvoy. This is the Brady Bunch. We're out of here. Good night. God bless. And come on, you boys in green.